Chapter 1. The Rich Don't Work for Money. When Robert Kiyosaki was 9 years old, he and his best friend Mike weren't invited to a classmate's pool party because they were too poor. Feeling the sting of rejection from their peers, they asked Kiyosaki's father how they could make money. Kiyosaki's father, whom Kiyosaki calls Poor Dad, was hardworking and well-educated but not financially successful. Poor Dad suggested they ask Mike's dad to teach them instead. Despite not having made it past the 8th grade or owning fancy things, he was a successful business owner. Mike's dad, known as Rich Dad, agreed to teach the boys how to make money. But in exchange, they had to work in one of his shops, earning 10 cents an hour. As the weeks passed, the boys worked, but Rich Dad taught them nothing. Kiyosaki grew frustrated. Eventually, Kiyosaki threatened to quit, furious with Rich Dad for his low wages and for not having followed through on his promise. Rich Dad then explained that he had paid Kiyosaki poorly on purpose to teach him an important lesson. He wanted Kiyosaki to learn the difference between working for money and making money work for him. Kiyosaki wasn't sure what this meant, so Rich Dad explained that he had two options. The first, Kiyosaki could remain in the rat race. That is, the pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills that most people participate in. If so, Kiyosaki would be like everyone else, accepting low wages, chasing raises and promotions, maybe getting a second job. Or, Kiyosaki could realize that having a traditional job was a short-term solution to a long-term problem. The rich don't become rich by working for money, Rich Dad explained. Instead, they have money work for them. For instance, instead of chasing salaries, they buy assets that go on to generate more cash flow. The rich don't work for money, they have money work for them. Rather than focus on chasing salaries, the rich focus on generating income through assets. This experience changed Kiyosaki's life. Poor Dad had always encouraged him to get a good education and job. He now saw this would only ever land him a position as someone's employee. As the years passed, Poor Dad lost his job while Rich Dad grew into one of the richest men in Hawaii. Kiyosaki followed in Rich Dad's footsteps, eventually retiring at 47. In 1997, he wrote, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, to share the lessons that helped him accrue his wealth. 20 years later, it sold 32 million copies and has been published in 51 languages. Next, we'll explore the specific assets Kiyosaki recommends we focus on buying to build our wealth.